years in a row.
We're tracking an active weather pattern in the state today.
Yes, a message to listen to, Alana. More and more of these forecasts just so important, especially with conditions like this.
Yeah, we had heavy rain in the north this morning, but now it's targeting southern Utah. We've got some dangerous conditions down there because floodwaters are rising and they're popping up in different locations. This is in Bloomington. Clayton Ashcraft catching this as the Virgin River, which continues to rise, and a flood advisory is in effect for the area until 8:30 as we've got rain on top of snow melt. The Pine Valley Mountains have received a tremendous amount of snow, and the Santa Clara River also high. This coming from Brophy. This is Gunlock Reservoir where the falls are running heavily, quickly, and state parks telling me that this water also bringing in debris, which they were cleaning up through the afternoon, and wet weather still down there at this hour. As I mentioned, flood watch in dark green for most of southern Utah, but really includes Kane and Washington counties where we've got active conditions and flood warnings near Zion as well as Hilldale. Now a big portion of Washington County, including Dameron Valley, Diamond Valley, Vail, all of those areas underneath this new flood advisory through 8:30 p.m. Also the Southwest Desert. Now we do have some thunderstorms in the area. We have to be extremely careful. Dangerous conditions. I just want to really stress the fact that floodwaters are dirty and dangerous, and you don't want to be in them. I'm seeing some videos pop up on social media where people are actually kayaking in them. Not safe, not good to do. Okay, we've got snow in the mountains, and look at the swath of moisture in the Southwest Desert. There's that lightning I'm talking about down towards Sun River. Kane County also very active, and we know that the Southwest Desert and southern Utah now getting all of the moisture that has moved further south. We've got heavier cells in and around St. George towards Hurricane and Zion, and then snow in the mountains. Jumping over to the eastern side of the state, Moab, Green River, and up towards Vernal. Active skies there. It's mixed precipitation in Vernal. We've got the Uinta Basin with some snow over the high country, and then rain in portions of Uinta County as well as down towards Grand County. In the north, we've quieted down. We're drying out and the sun's sneaking out before it goes down. Look at some of these precipitation totals. These numbers bound to go up, but we're talking an abundance of moisture in a short amount of time. 1.82 inches at Snow Basin, Heber, close to an inch. Mendon up in Cache Valley, Pleasant Grove, Zion National Park clocking almost an inch there, but we know that number is going to get higher. 0.8 in Oak City, Ogden at half an inch. Salt Lake International getting 1/4 of an inch from the storm system. So coming through with that valley rain and mountain snow setup, and the mountain snow continues. Live view of Bryce Canyon right now where the snow coming down. It's heavy, wet snow, and that's why we have our winter storm warning in effect until tomorrow morning. At 6 a.m., winter weather advisory for the central mountains and the Uintas. Hold on to that winter storm warning as some of this moisture will hang steady. When you talk about snow, we've got to look at snowpack, a tremendous amount this year. Great news because we desperately need the moisture, but now we're adding rain to the mix. Look at some of these percents. Eastern Utah, Tooele County at 203% of average. Southwest Desert now today statewide we're sitting at 173% of normal. That is actually a record for today when it comes to SWE. SWE is snow water equivalent, and it's the depth of the water if you melted down all of that snow. 23.2 inches for today is a record, and we could go for an all-time record if we continue adding to this SWE. Futurecast shows us where the storm system will head as we get to 8 o'clock. Notice eastern Utah stays active and the south. The front past southern Utah, and it is going to continue that way. After midnight, things starting to quiet down. Again, 8:30 when we start to see the flood warnings expiring. Eastern Utah stays a little active for the early morning hours, but then we quiet down. High pressure taking control for our Thursday and into our St. Patrick's Day. That ridge of high pressure will build clear skies, quiet conditions, but temperatures will remain slightly below average. So a heads up there, we won't see the warmth that we typically see this time of year. 30s and 40s for those daytime highs tomorrow. Teens and 20s, so a cold start to the day following that cold front that allowed cooler air to move in. We do know the eastern side of the state will see 30s, 40s, and 50s. We've got upper 50s in St. George. Zooming in, want you to find your city. Look at those teens in our mountain valleys. Freezing tomorrow in Park City, upper 30s in Tooele. Jumping into the central portion of the state, a mix of 30s and 40s with drier conditions. We're going to need a moment to dry out, but it doesn't last for long. No, we have another storm and the potential of an additional atmospheric river impacting us into next week. You see it here on the 7-day for Washington County. We're dry through Sunday, but then by the start of spring on Monday, increasing clouds and the chance of wet weather. That's going to be the case in the north as well. Starts as rain, but could turn to mixed precipitation. Those daytime highs running about 5 to 6 degrees below normal. An isolated shower can't be ruled out for early tomorrow morning, but the system wants to move out, and we get soggy conditions as we head into next week, adding more rain on top of our hefty accumulations when it comes to our snowpack. Flooding concerns tonight in southern Utah. Stay safe out there if you are out there. Glenn, Emily, over to you.
Great advice. Thanks so much, Alana. Appreciate that.